Hey everybody, welcome to the show. 30 minutes of awesome. Coming at you live from not sunny Knoxville, Tennessee. Looks like we're about to have a violent set of storms roll through. So anyway, how's it going everybody? Don, Valerie, Kenneth, Wade, Rob, Tara, Jason, Nikki, Rex, Dex, Rob, Dan, Craig, Nina. I don't recognize your name. Welcome. Robert, Al, glad to have everybody. And Ted, Dave. So if you want to chat with me like all these fine folks, click the button right here. The little green logo thingy right in here. Click it. Subscribe. Be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat. And welcome, everybody. Welcome. I just ran a little errand doing environmental sampling with my dad. And got back. Stopped by the seed store. Bought 50-pound bag of seed potatoes. Gonna grow some taters. Anyway, I don't know if Kimberly's on here yet, but I know Karen, my daughter, my oldest, she'll be excited. So we're probably gonna do that in her backyard. Hey, there you are. There you are, Kimberly. Anyway, my lovely bride. Welcome, everybody. So today we're gonna talk about Q2 starting. Q2 is started. We've got earnings coming up. Basically, next week is the big show. S&P 500 blackout window starting now. I've kind of talked about this a little bit the last couple of days. Basically, if you run a public company, there's not a rule against it, but the SEC kind of frowns upon anybody taking action with any kind of insider knowledge right before you announce some kind of big earnings. So anybody that would have any kind of knowledge about financials or earnings or any of the company information, they want those people to not trade. So it's a self-policing action by the S&P 500 companies. Well, by most public companies, they don't want anybody busted for insider trading. So there's a blackout window, and that window, while it's not set in stone, it's generally about 3 weeks before earnings kind of ramps up. No trades, and then soon as earnings happen, you're allowed to trade again. So that's kind of the way that works. All right. Anybody got any questions with that? No, I've grown lots of potatoes before. We're trying a little different system this year. It's going to be containerized potato growing. We got a bunch of big buckets, and we're not talking like 5-gallon buckets. We're talking like 25-gallon. I think 25, maybe the 30-gallon buckets. Anyway, big buckets. We're going to grow some taters in there. So ought to be interesting. Welcome, everybody. So Q2. And I bought dark red Northland potatoes. So historically, we've grown red, white, and blue potatoes. And they were sold out of blues. I like the blues, but they were sold out. So I got reds. I like the yellows too, but whites, they only had the Kennebecks, and I'm not fond of the Kennebecks personally. So yeah, I like the blue. Like we made French fries out of the blue ones. My gosh, man, amazing potato flavor. Never tasted French fries like that before. So anyway, welcome everybody, and kicking over to the calendar right here. Not much happening this week. Today was Tuesday, just kind of benign and boring. Tomorrow, not a lot going on. We have some ISM, some final services PMI, some non-farm, blah, blah, blah. And on Thursday, unemployment. Friday, we get the unemployment rate. We get unemployment claims on Thursday. We get the unemployment rate on Friday with the average hourly earnings and non-farm employment change. Maybe we see, I guess this is the actual U.S. one right down here. Maybe we see some volatility, maybe not. It's usually all cooked and baked anyway. So there you go. That's this week. Like, there's not a ton going on. Like, it just economic news wise, and then next week we start into financial earnings. Dun, dun, dun. Do I trade futures? Well, that's a loaded question. Yes, I did trade futures today. And I trade options on futures quite often. So, bum, 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 bum. So full disclosure, I did a trade on this last night. I'll explain the trade and talk through it. So yesterday we had this move down, this retrace, and here's what I actually traded. This move up stopped. We broke down below this right here. I got short right here yesterday. Now, when the market closed, I didn't have enough margin to hold the position open. I closed it out right there. Closed it out. I was actually on a 5-minute chart, so pop this up. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this trade. I don't condone trading futures. I got short right here, and at 5 o'clock or 4:50. Let's see, that would be right there. Right there. I closed it on that red candle. Right there, 4:45, 4:50. We got a pop into the close. When we reopened at 6. Oh, wait, no, 4:50, not 3:50, 4:50, right? I'm on the wrong candle. This candle. That candle right there, I closed it out. Right there, that little baby one. We popped into the close. As soon as it reopened, I sold it again. Put my stop right here. And left for the day. Went home. Didn't look at the chart again. Didn't even pop it up on last night. This morning, came into this. I actually had an alert right there at the 786. Or no. My alert was right there at the 786. That fired off this morning right as I was getting into my truck. Or no, I was getting out of the get my time straight. Yeah, that was as I got out into the shower. Yeah, that's when that fired off right there. It broke through right there and pushed down, and right there is when I got to the office. I was like, heck yeah, and I locked in the trade right here, and then we continued on down to the 1272. I moved my stop right down here as we did this move right here. Stopped out, didn't worry about it, got back long somewhere in here. When we didn't continue lower, we actually did a little baby 618 retrace right there, little bitty baby. Everybody see it right there? This was down on the 1-minute chart. Got long. XSP. I was out of futures at this point. Didn't mess with futures anymore. And held XSP into the close. So I made $250 on one contract of MES overnight on that drop. From there to there. Now, what else did JT do today? JT popped up gold and saw this little move right here. From here to here. See that measured bounce right there? I got long. Gold right in here. And rode it up. And actually closed it out right. It was that one. No. That one. Run the high to the low. Yeah, it was that one. Right there. Booked it out. Made 50% gain on, I think I had a 23. I don't even remember what it was. Hold on. I'll tell you. Tell you what the price on the strike was. Dun, dun, dun. Screenshots, you know. Let's see. It was a $22.95 call. for next week. So 22.95 right here. That was the strike. Bought it down here. Sold it right there. Made 50% gain in about 5 hours. So there you go. All right. Don't usually talk about these, but there you go. And that's the roadmap line on the 5-minute chart. See it right there. Roadmap line and a measured bounce. Combine it together. Power move. I expected to go hit that 23.05. Probably going to do it. All right. There you go. I'm gaining more confidence in the market roadmap bounce on small time frames since I built a indicator thing for it right here. Back tester indicator thing. It doesn't work on futures necessarily, but it does work on like XSP right here. Dun, 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 dun. Works on all time frames. See if it, yeah, it got in and got out right there. Got in here, got out right there. You look at the win rate on this baby, 76%. It goes for the 1272 every time. So you think my market roadmap thing doesn't work? Well, it works on all time frames right there. This is a market roadmap bounce. Figured out how to codify it. It did a little baby bounce right there. Booked the profit right there. Wins 76% of the time. And that's just 51 trades. When we look at the list of trades, that only goes back, let's see. That's only this year. I did 51 trades from January 1st. It's back testing, not live testing. So 3 months-ish, 51 trades. Won 76% of the time. Profit factor 1.3, not the best, but there you go. It can be improved. But that one, look, I mean, got out right there. And then it pulled back again and then set up again. Technically, that was another setup. It just didn't take that trade for whatever reason. Blasted right off again. Anyway, that's my market roadmap system in a nutshell. The price pulls back to the roadmap line, moves up through the 127 or 1618 through the 618. That high, that low. See the 618 right there? We get a close above that. This thing goes long. 70% likely we go hit the 1272, which is where that booked out. If I had my fibs exactly on the right spot. There, right there. See the purple matches the fib line. I think I'm off just a tick or two. Probably down here. There we are. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, so that pullback is on the 1-minute chart. That pullback popped up above the 618. This thing got long. Booked it out right there when it tagged the 1272. So the stats on this thing, on a 1-minute chart, 76% of the time. Not bad, right? So there you go. It's a beautiful system. I like it. That's why it's my system. It's a market roadmap. If you want this thing, you want this indicator, well, all it is the orange line right here. And I tell you how to do the fibs and all that stuff. It's like $5. It's in the description right there. So anyway, let's actually do what we came here to do. Go through a few of the market things. Pop up to the daily, not the weekly, daily chart. So S&P pulling back a little bit today. We're actually ended the day better than when I did the morning show. We were down 40 something points. I think we got to 54 was the worst we got today, which about 1% down and bouncing into the close. And as I defined it this morning, I just kind of drew it right like this. Expected support either there, or if we were going to go a little bit more bearish, right there. Turns out we bottomed here, sat there for a little while, started rallying into the close, resistance right up here at that 618. And at this point, that was an aggressive entry I took on XSP. If anybody saw that in Discord, it was in the free for all channel. The conservative entry for this bounce would be right up here, right there. We get above that, 70% likely. We're going right up here. And you may be like, well, it's not bouncing off the roadmap line. Well, it is on like I think it's a 2-hour chart or something like that. Let's see. You just have to go to the right chart. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 2-hour chart right there. That's the bounce. And we get above that. It's all about time frame, right? That time frame right there, 53, 59 on ES. And you may be like, well, JT, what the heck is that on something I can trade? Well, SPX, it was not a 2-hour bounce. It was not even a 1-hour bounce. It was the 30-minute, basically. Tagged right to the 1272. Just right on it. That high, that low. We get it back above this right here. That consolidation from yesterday, right at the close. Get above that. Probably going on up to 52.86, possibly 53.14. We decided not to go further down. So that's basically it right there. A 30-minute bounce for the cash index. The 2-hour bounce on the futures. And that's the long and the short of it. Simple as that. All right, moving on. NQ looked a little more bearish, but tagged the 1618, right where I put the support. This is Nasdaq. So we went a little bit further down. Like I said, it was a little bit more bearish this morning. We went a little bit further down, got a little further extension, found support, turned around, resistance right here, and then targets are on up here. So there you go. Right now, it's no high probability anything right now. Potential for another extension, but there's no high probability anything. The high probability setup would be a move back up through the 618. And for Nasdaq, that goes off of this high down to this low. We've got to get up through this level right here. I just gave you the level on SPX and ES. Right there is the one for NQ, which is around 18.5. We're down at 18.250-ish. 18.5. We get above that, probably going on up here to 18.850, 840, 850. And possibly higher up. NQ did break below its daily uptrend line. I think SPX did too. If I remember this properly. Trend channels are the least reliable thing to watch. Let's turn off that since there's like 9 gazillion of those. Yeah, we did push below that, but we pushed below it before. This has kind of been the uptrend of all year. Push below it slightly, but we can bounce and go right back up. No big deal. No big deal. So Russell looked a little more bearish, though. This could be the canary in the coal mine that indicates that something more bearish possibly playing out. But the bottom of that channel is still all the way down here. And we haven't even got about halfway there, but we still got a ways to go. This can keep dropping while the ES and NQ go higher. So what are all the indices doing this week? There's no, it's kind of mixed. Mixed bag at this point. Could be some intermediate resistance. We've got this higher level going through here that we haven't tested yet. Got close, but didn't actually test it yet. A shorter term duration from February through now. That bigger channel down here. Again, channels are low probability to hold. And we could see a retest of the roadmap line down here. If we start getting below that, odds are we're going on down. That could be more serious of a correction. You know, we could end up down here in the 1300 on Russell. Keep it in mind, all right? This is like the canary in the coal mine for the market. If we start breaking support here, it's just a matter of time, usually before ES and NQ start following along. The trade is, if you want to know about my XSP trade, it is in Discord in the XSP SPX channel, free for all, open all trading. CL got more bullish today. Actually tagged my, I've been saying 85. 86 would be a little closer to the target. I was very conservative when I said 85. We actually tagged 85 today. We came up just shy of my alert that's sitting right there at 85.78. And 90 would be my bullish target. Like if we're actually setting up for something more bullish into the later part of the year, we're probably going to tag this right up here around 90 before we do another consolidation that could last a month or two possibly. And then we'll probably break out in a big way, go test like 105, possibly even much higher levels, way beyond that. Now, we could just go ripping higher now, but I think we're going to tag this, do a consolidation for a couple weeks before we go testing this. We get above that, and that's the 618 level. This is the roadmap line thing from a high time frame, and we're talking like much bigger time frame. You know, like the weekly chart here. Talking weekly chart time frame, bouncing off the roadmap line. We break above that 618, probably going on up here. The extensions 150, 148, 140, 140, 150. So we're talking about something get above here, probably coming up here, 70% likely. And that could take us into possibly next year, possibly 26. Now, if it can always go on an accelerated, straight up way. I mean, we've done that. We did that over here. Get quite excited and go up very quickly. And we can always do that, but the trajectory we're on now could take us into next year, well into 26 to get all the way up there. And that's a weekly chart. So this is a big picture, big time frame chart. All right. Starts on the little, smaller, and we start in the hourly, the daily. We start breaking resistance, setting it up. I expect this to find resistance in here, get another, like I said, another week or two or three, maybe a month-long pullback, maybe revisit the roadmap line, then go test at 618 level up around 105. We get above that, we can go more bullish, maybe for a couple of years. Brent kind of doing the same thing, which is European oil and RB gasoline. Looking like we are trying to do a breakout. And that 340 area right up here. Same situation. 340 is the number for that. And then we break above that. And this is kind of a daily chart here. So if we break above that, we could be looking at a rally up to $5 a gallon. And that's wholesale prices on gasoline. Rough. While interestingly enough, diesel fuel, heating oil, if you didn't know how to chart this, heating oil, HO1, heating oil, this is on TradingView, /HO, if you're on a platform that's futures enabled. Heating oil right here, looking a little more bearish, actually, just consolidating under the roadmap line. So this one isn't following along right now. Not following along. So if you're driving diesel, that's looking good for you right now until it decides to catch up. So sometimes gasoline and diesel diverge, but usually at some point they decide to catch back up. Either, one's dropping and one's popping, or they, one accelerates to meet the other. Natural gas looking a bit more bearish in the near term. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see, I gotta move my chart just a little bit. We have these targets down here, and trying to figure out which mode I'm in. Yeah, right down here is my target, down here around $1.30. Now, if we break higher, we could go, if we break above this high from back here in March, we could go test the roadmap line. And this is only like 35% odds. This one was 70% odds. We tagged it twice. 35-ish% odds. We're going to hit the 1618 on the downside. But we could shape up something more bullish. But this does look a lot like what we did last year, just on a way smaller scale. See this little consolidation, ramped up, and then did the extension. We did this exact same thing like a year later, just a much smaller. Look at that pattern. You see it right there? I can remove these extra lines I drew on here. Look right there. See that little pattern? Almost exactly what we did last year. That little pop was right at the beginning of March. This little pop right at the beginning of March, almost the same time frame, just smaller scale. We could retrace right up to the roadmap line one more time on the daily and go for another. This could last all year, and then we pop down and do an extension into next year. Wouldn't that be interesting? So remember, natural gas isn't just about heating; it's about power generation. So a lot of power generation has switched over to natural gas. Gold. Dun, 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 dun. As I started out talking about, gold going nice and bullish, 2305, 2314 on the upside in the small time frames, and bigger time frame. Jump back up to the daily chart. Move off a couple things. I've got a target area right up here, around 2350, probably 2400 above that, or 2300, 2400, and we could see a bigger pop up to 3,000, maybe even 5,000 above that. This thing's been underperforming for years. It's been winding up, winding up, winding up. We could see an outsized pop. All right. Silver has been winding up also. Potential to break out. Potential. Remove a few mild lines off of here so we can see it where we actually are. Potential to break out, but we're still a lower high so far. But if and when this breaks out of this consolidation, I mean, this thing's been winding up for a long time. If we get above this in any kind of meaningful way and start getting continuation, we could see a pretty sizable pop on silver. Maybe like how big a pop? Check this out. This low, this high, this low. We could be talking 44, 57, even 80, or 70, 75, 80. That'd be pretty wild. If it's going to be bullish, I could see a move right up in there. We could be talking out to 26, 27, 2026, 2027. So, potential. And, what's odd, though, is that copper hadn't really been following the same path with a bullish setup. We could see copper actually go down while we see gold and silver popping. Interesting to me, anyway. Bitcoin USD on BTC USD, right? Yep. Where is the... There we go. Now we're going to load it. Freaking thing. Sometimes. Wow. Come on, TradingView. There we go. Nothing really changed from this morning. So if you were here this morning, nothing really changed at all. We held the support. Bounced off the 618 several times. Rallied up. Found resistance. We were here this morning. What I was talking about, we were kind of rallying up. Came back. Rallied up. Retraced slightly. Nothing really changed from this morning. So everything I said this morning still applies. We have I think I had it up right here. Support zone right here. This is the zone we don't really want to break. Otherwise, we tilt the odds to going down further. As long as we hold this support right here, where we have held so far, we have this resistance right above us, around 69,000. And then this target zone up here, 73 immediately, and then 77 above that. Nothing else matters right now. Just that support zone and that resistance zone. So there we go. Dun, 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 dun. Oil can move separately from gasoline. Funny enough, they don't. Like, a lot of traders think that everything has to be correlated. Like gasoline and oil follow the same pattern. No, not always. Sometimes they can diverge, and diesel and gasoline can diverge. Yeah. The thing about it though is, between oil, gasoline, and diesel, 2 out of 3 of them have to be going the same direction some way, somehow. I mean, I guess you could have one going sideways and one going up and one going down, but, you know, essentially 2 are going to be up and one's going to be down, or you could look at it 2 are down and one's up further. I don't know. Only occasionally do they all flow the same direction. So, trading view question. I added your market roadmap indicator. Thank you. Symbol time frame in the background. Okay, so if you want to see the symbol in the time frame, that is right over here under settings, and you go to watermark right down here, chart settings, canvas, watermark, click the button right there. It puts the symbol and the time frame in the background. That's how you do it. And you can change the colors or whatever, you know, whatever you prefer to have on your chart. Ethereum doing something more bearish here, not holding support at all. And on the daily chart, this actually looks pretty not good. No bueno. Looking like we're going for the roadmap line. This does put pressure on Bitcoin, but they can diverge. Ethereum might be classified as a security under the SEC, and Bitcoin not. So that's a big change potential. Now, other big news, we have about 2,550 blocks left to go until we have the halving event. So roughly 17 days, which puts us around April 19th, Friday, April 19th. If you want to see the blocks getting minted, mempool.space is a cool place to see it. You can see the transactions trying to vie for a spot in the blocks, and a fair amount of transactions piled up here. So there you go. It's been 30 minutes since we mined a block. Running a little ahead of schedule though. That difficulty set to adjust in 8 days. If you didn't know, this is self-correcting. So Bitcoin is unique in the fact that if you poured more money and more hash into more hash rate, into more money into buying more computers to build more hash rate, because like other commodities, the price of gold goes up, more people can afford to go mine gold because an ounce or a gram gets you $60 these days. So if it goes up double what it is, then a gram is $120. I mean, that's more people able to afford to go do that. Bitcoin, on the other hand, if price goes up, you go buy miners to try to participate, and you put those miners online, all of a sudden, within 14 days, the difficulty changes and absorbs your hash rate and makes it more difficult to mine Bitcoin. That's different than any other commodity out there. All right, so it's self-regulating, and that's part of the algorithm. You may be like, oh, they can change that. No, they can't, because it's not just miners that control Bitcoin. It's everybody. Like, if you want to be a controller of Bitcoin, just go to bitcoin.com, download the software, run your own node. It'll take you about 3 days to process all the back catalog, about 500 gigs. Take you almost a terabyte of space on your hard drive to store the whole blockchain. Once you do that, you're a node. You're a verifier on the network. Like, you don't have to mine to be a verifier. All right? And then you're a participant. That's the big misconception. Is like, there was all this hullabaloo about the fact that miners are going to collude and they're going to do something around halving. They can't. Like, to be able to do that, they would have to change the code, and it's just not happening. All right? There's actually more node operators than there are miners. So the miners don't have the ability to change anything because they don't have the majority. All right? That's one of the things that makes Bitcoin unique. Yep, there was that block just got mined right there. And there we go. So now, that time of the day where I take requests for at least 30 minutes. So the rules. Time out before you go. The rules. You can make one request per person, per message. No commas, don't give me a big long list. If you do, I'm not going to accept it. I need it written in capitals, and I need the ticker. So if it's something USD, put it all together, just like you see it on my screen right here. Like if you're going to request Bitcoin, BTC USD is the ticker. That's the way I want it. If you put spaces or anything like that, I'm going to look up, I'm going to think that what you wrote was the ticker, and that you wrote 2 different tickers, and I'm not going to look at it. All right. Now, 1 per person, let somebody else go before you request again. That's the rules. So, all right. I think pro USD was I think the space in there. You were trying to do this, and I'm basically going to look at most of these on a daily chart. There's not enough candles to do anything with this, so just chaos right there. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Zoomed it up. And retrace. Yeah. Probably do a retrace. Dun, 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 dun. On the weekly chart, let's see. Possibly going to get an extension to 11. That would be my upside target. No idea what it is or why it would go up that high, but there you go. 11 potential. Dun, dun, dun. FT and T. It is crazy hot in here. I don't know if I can last the whole hour and a half if that's how long this goes. Just throwing that out there. FTNT still has support down here, and we're stuck in the resistance zone. Resistance there, support here. Otherwise, I don't know. That could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we could get the retrace before we go again. 98, if we can get above that gap fill resistance there. That was the gap down, and we're just kind of sitting there. CMG. And if you ask me a question, please use complete sentences and don't say I skipped whatever. Just tell me what it is, because I don't have the ability to look at the chat by myself. Chipotle Mexican Grill. They're going to do a split out here sometime later in the summer. They have earnings coming up right here, and they may retrace to the roadmap line. Could hover until earnings and then retrace to the roadmap line. Dun, 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 dun. PSX is Phillips 66. Going on a nice run. Some refiners have been taken off and others being lackluster. This one not giving it up so far. Now remember, something like PSX is not oil, so be careful. It can start dropping and oil keep rallying. You see ExxonMobil being quite bullish, but it hasn't actually quite broken out yet. Like the highest high right back here. We're not quite there. This one's probably going on a breakout to 127 though. Possibly even higher, 136. You know, funny thing about when they make record profit, the government goes crazy. Like people in the government go crazy and try to start taking money, whatever. And you know, just keep it in mind. Dun, dun, dun. The whole chat just jumped around. Mara is not doing anything interesting. Make it a higher low so far. Moved up, return to start. Well, return to the 618. Right there. Got that move up off the lows. Back to the 618. Yet again. Did it over here. 618. A little deeper. That's not exactly always bullish. Yeah. Little baby 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Retrace. Want to hold that zone. Don't want to get below the roadmap line or this prior lows. The way it goes on Mora. No prediction. FL. Rejecting the roadmap line so far. I have an aggressive entry there. More conservative entry. Above 31. Looking for... I was going to make this the chart of the week last week, but I didn't have a good way to explain all the things going on here. So, here you go. This retrace, bouncing off this 618, popping up, aggressive entry right in here. You know, potentially above the roadmap line, which it already did. So, aggressive entry here. Conservative entry above the 618 level. But we do have that gap, which adds an extra layer of ugh. And when you zoom out just a little bit, we have another gap right here. So that all could be resistance. So this one makes it a little more meh. If it's going to be bullish, it's going to pop up here. Conservative target right around 40, top of the box, top of that gap down. The target 47.50. And if it's going to be super bullish, we could be up to 90. I didn't have a good way to type all that out, but there you go. You can kind of see it as I walk through it on here. Now, danger zone, if we get down in this zone, watch out. We could be changing the odds to going lower, and lower could take us on down to like $9 on Foot Locker. That's a large range, $9 to $90. It's like an order of magnitude potential. So, could you buy here and 3x your money potentially just on shares? Could it take a while? Yeah, it could take a long while. It could be well out into 26 before we get up to this 90 area. 25, 26. This is one that could take a while to play out, and it could just sit sideways for a long freaking time. All right. PDD. Looks like we have not gotten off the roadmap line yet. False start, return to, what do they call it? False start, 5-yard penalty. There you go. We're going to be bullish. We got to break above that. This was like a gap up and a retrace and didn't actually close the day. So this is the thing. This didn't actually fire off a conservative entry for my market roadmap bounce. I'll be surprised if it did. Because this didn't close above. Yeah, it didn't fire off. Didn't fire off because this was an open and a close below the 618 level. If this had closed anywhere up here the day, it would have fired off an entry. But it didn't, because this didn't close the day above. It opened up above it, but it didn't close the day. That's kind of there's a fine nuance. If you hear me, like when I talk about it, a close above the 618, I'm when I say that, I'm serious that we have to have a close above the 618, not just a candle above the 618, not just trading above the 618. It's a very fine point, but it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. And like back here, when you get the bounce and you get the close above the 618, and then you get the target. Right there, that retrace, and the target right there. Close above the 618, entry, exit. This thing works on all time frames. All right. FXI. Wow, trading views being super slow. I think. Probably my computer. Probably need to install those Windows updates that keep flashing up. Resistance at the roadmap line. Now, same situation, same pattern, just upside down. You go this way, instead of going from the high to the low down to the roadmap line, you went from the low to the high at the roadmap line. Draw the level. If we get below this zone right here, just the same pattern, upside down. Right there's the target, 19. If we do something more bullish, we start breaking above and getting above here, find support at the roadmap line, tilts the odds we're going up. But right now, that's below the roadmap line, and just like back here, odds are we could extend lower. All right, don't bet on them being different till they're different. Arrow USD. Straight up, nothing to... Now, that one definitely has nothing to chart. I mean, right there, add extensions. No roadmap line, no nothing. Hype coin. And see, I'm just curious. Let's see. Oops. Arrow. Number 2,430. Or is it 5,000? Which one is it? I don't even know. Probably that one. That's way on down the list. And not very liquid either. Is on Coinbase, but not very liquid. All right. I was just curious to see how far down the list that was. I don't like those coins, honestly. Just the hype can be over any day, and you lose your money. Coinbase, I really want to see this one retrace to the roadmap line or get above this prior resistance zone right up here. Same situation, same big pattern. This is like a large time frame pattern on Coinbase. That correction, that move up, that 618, got to get above it to tip the odds for 538, possibly 767. Same chart all the time, hadn't changed in days. Uber. Getting some alerts on something. Uber's sitting up here consolidating. Been consolidating for like a month. Just being uninteresting. Started in February, a month and a half now. Consolidating. Major resistance at that 89 level up there. Right there. That's the extension. So this is the big pullback, the big run up. Stopped at the 1272. A retrace to the roadmap line would not be unexpected at this point. Could do like this consolidation like we did here, retrace to the roadmap line, then go on an extension. Same thing over here could happen. Here, where'd that go? That went sideways for 2 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. We could go sideways for another month and a half, tap the roadmap line. Why do I look at what happened before? Because these things tend to rhyme and echo, all right? Could come over here, tap this sucker right here, and then go on another run. So don't expect anything for that one until more retrace. I mean, right there is here's what it did in the recent past. All right, it's not even that long ago. That was just back last summer. They'd be like, yeah, but we're not doing a big market pullback right now. Well, we might. And that one may do it. Already did Mora, NEM. Go, chart go. Is bearish. I have a bullish trade on it, but that is a bearish chart, and we could hold the roadmap line and go lower. Right now, there's your resistance. We're right there. There's your support right here. We get below it, going lower, get above this. Got resistance here. We'll probably come up like this, find that resistance, retrace like this before we went higher. So there's the two potentials right there, or we could just turn sideways in between here. But there you go. That's NEM. Nike. Looks like it's going lower. Yeah, I already had that drawn. Just didn't load fast enough. This is 70% likely to come down to at least 80, if not down here to like 70. That's Nike for you. CCJ. That kicked off an entry while I was doing the morning show. Roadmap bounce. 70% likely. Hit the extension, 54. Right there. See right there? That's the alert. Right there, that's the entry. Firing off. I don't even have the fibs done right. Oh, it changed it for me since this morning. I've pulled this down this morning. There you go. That was a daily close above there yesterday. The entry was this morning. Target 54.55, right up in there. Simple as that. Alrighty. Already did FT&T, CF. If you missed anything, the bar right down here. Just use it, you know. Use it. All right, CF is probably going to retrace to the roadmap line. This is sideways choppy garbage. Failed to go higher. Could be one of the 30% that fails. Although on a that little bitty one, check this out. That's funny. This one right here, the sub setup, closed above the 618, hit the 1272 right there. Retracing, probably retrace here, hold that, and go again. That's CF for you. APA. Dun, 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 dun. Holding a bearish pattern. That's bearish. Look, downtrend. Turn that off. That's a downtrend. Lower highs. I wouldn't trade it till it turns bullish. That's not sitting right there at the roadmap line. Is not bullish with way below. Gosh. I mean, at the best, you could say this is sideways choppy. I mean, the best outlook, because look right here, that we're just hanging at the bottom end of the consolidation that we've been in for all a while. February 22. Ain't gone anywhere in over 2 years. Why you want to get messed? Why you want to mess with that? I mean, like, and the range is only $20. I mean, I'm staying away from that. I don't like that. I mean, there's just not much potential there. Unless you know something that the rest of us don't know. I mean, it pins right back to supports. Turns out Kimberly selling out of that one was a wise decision. Sold at 41. Got almost got the top too. Holy mackerel. Support right there. UCO is a leverage on oil. Be careful with leverage. It flashed up the wrong screen. There we go. Leverage on oil and all the stuff I said months ago, still in play. All of that stuff from way back over here in like November. All the same targets, all the same stuff. There you go. We're on the path now, though. Reserve entry above 34.50, which we're just right at. 37, 39, 42, 44, 48. Even higher levels possible. There you go. Alrighty. So, Solana, you're looking for Sol USD, I bet. I just know that one because I have some of that one. I actually hold some Solana. And the entry was back here. Want to break above here. And I'm still holding. And when you look at the bigger picture, bigger time frame, bigger everything chart, the weekly time frame, we did the retrace. We held a higher low. Broken out. Something crazy up here is probably the target. Maybe 341. Maybe crazy targets. 696. Entry was down here. Just holding now. Alrighty. And I wish this thing would not jump around like crazy. NVIDIA is just overcooked. I don't know what you want me to say on that one. It's overextended, overcooked, and we could go up to make it the biggest company in the world at 1250. But we are due a retrace. And it could be vicious. And TSM. Yeah, there's no update on NVIDIA. There's not going to be an update on NVIDIA. I'm going to keep saying the same thing that I've said for 3 months. TSM has potential. They go up to about 166, maybe 200, but it also has the potential to come back down to 111. Finding resistance at that prior high. We tried to spike it and couldn't, and failing to go higher. It was the high here. It was the high here. We started breaking out and got slammed back down. That usually means we're going to do a retrace. See right here when we did that little exponential thing, then we got slammed back down. So watch out for a retrace back down in that 110 area. Data has, I don't know if that's the chart you're looking for. That looks like some bullshit. I don't want to get involved in that. And VITO is just an analog for Bitcoin. It's just the Bitcoin chart, just gappy. So I already covered Bitcoin. Just look at the Bitcoin chart clearance. And WCFG, USD, I don't know, like there's no D in there. WCF, USD, Coinbase, wrap centrifuge. Yeah, that looks like a horrible chart. Going from the high to the low. Maybe turning bullish, $5 upside. And AI. Right back down. Okay, this is bearish. I already had that drawn on there. Break below that head and shoulders. Bearish 1850 near-term support, or it could go all the way down here to $9. Watch out. We're pushing the neckline today. Not a terribly reliable pattern, but the setup has it cooking right down here. That's where this pattern and this bounce and this be equality. So, like, why is this right here? Watch this. Watch this. Just go to a clean chart real quick. AI. See this move down right here? See this retrace right here? See it right there? This level it held. Bottom bar, go away. There we go. Gosh darn it. There we go. That 618 level. That's the level. We did not get a daily close above that before we reject it. This usually means we're going to see, at the minimum, wrong thing. Wrong thing. Keeps clicking on the wrong thing. I want the bar. Here we go. Like this. Put that back. Usually do something like that. That puts us down to 18. Right here. Not even looking at the head and shoulders. That's just that move down echoed off of this move down. This corrective gook right there. This whole thing from here over here. All that junk right there. Overlappy garbage. Price action. Corrective. Then we held the 618. Makes it likely we're coming down here. All right. And the market's back open, 6 o'clock. Amazon. It's at the extension. I expect a retrace back down to 150. Now, the other caveat is this has not been making a higher high yet, like the rest of Nasdaq. So we have resistance right up here at these highs. If we can break through, we could go on a little extension. That's resistance, and we need a retrace. Something like we did back here. This is extended. This is no longer proportional. this move up right here. From that point right there, we're exceeding that. So at this point, we're getting extended. Getting extended. Proportion-wise, I don't expect a lot more out of this thing until we get another retrace. Yeah, so hitting the 1272, the 1618 would be right up here. That's where this first move up echoed off of that. 1618, 202 possibly. Then we're going to need a retrace. And if we go that high, the retrace is probably going to be pretty gnarly. Now, what kind of retrace do we need? Roadmap line, but we may need a much bigger retrace like this back down to 109. Especially if we go on up to like 202, 220, somewhere in that zone. Could definitely need a move down to this 100, 120 area. Now you'd be like, JT, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Look at this right here, this BA chart. This is not magic. This is where I came up with this. Right here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I suggested we would retrace to here, and that's kind of where we've retraced to at this point. Right in the zone. Now, if we hold support here, break back above the roadmap line, we could be on a pretty big run in Boeing. Same for Amazon. We could do a big fast. Amazon could, you know, be wrecking everything for a little while. It seems like they can't get anything right. Boeing seems like they can't get anything right, but they're probably going to turn and burn and go higher. This is the correction we needed to support that move. Seems crazy. Now I drew a giant down arrow here back in December, and then we did it. Almost exactly to the target that I put on here. I thought we would take a little longer. We went a little faster. Now, find support, turn higher. There you go. Same with Amazon. We're probably going to do some sort of deep retrace back down into the zone. I don't know if it's from here or from a higher level right up here. MPL USD, Maple. That high, that low. That's a bearish chart. Resistance is right here. KHC, Kraft Heinz, ketchup. Break above, 39 is the upside target. That's still a descending set of lows, kind of tightening up. Not awesome, but the roadmap pattern, 39, possibly 41, which is still lower than these back here. And AVT USD. Right there, that pattern. Simple as that. PRM is under 10 bucks. That's a declining setup. And resistance is up here. PP USD. What a nasty chart. If we were going higher, it's not above the 618. So resistance is right here. Otherwise, same thing I talked about before on AI, right there. We're not even in the halving event yet. Usually everything doesn't go crazy until 200 to 220 days or 220 to 240 days after the halving event. The halving event hasn't even happened yet. We're still like 17 days out. So 17 days plus 220 days puts us like December before everything should really start going crazy, you know, by the historical pattern. Now there's smart people that think we're running 6 months ahead. We'd have to be more than 6 months ahead. So we're actually running like 300 days ahead. Almost, you know, it's It's more like 9 months ahead, almost 10 months ahead. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. WH. That's bearish. Support down here. We get below that, could take us on down to the target land, target zone down here. That would be that. Dell. Go. So here's the thing to watch right there. That pullback, holding that 618 level, could take us here. If we get above it, could take us up to 139. It's just probably a 30-minute roadmap line bounce. Yes. 30-minute bounce. Resistance at the 618. Simple as that. Upside target, 139. Downside, daily roadmap line. You could be like, well, I mean, it could echo that right there. Yeah, we could find support right in here, but if we get that close, we're probably going to go on down. Probably. Alrighty. ARM is still the same pattern and still the same expectation, and nothing has changed. The target is still back down. Still lower highs, still holding the 618. Still expect that to come all the way back down to the roadmap line. Back down to where it consolidated, since it doesn't have enough candles for a roadmap line. PLTR. Go. Roadmap line. That's what I expect. Oh, look, already had a just slowly loading. I hit the 1618, so retrace. Highly likely. Not like guaranteed highly likely, just likely to occur. And when it happens, then you can trade off of it, but I wouldn't trade for it. It's not where you make the money. Lamb research. Resistance right there. That was a head and shoulders breakout. Hit the resistance. Now what do we do? I don't know. Nothing. There's no pattern at this point. Nothing I can tell you. Cost. Same situation. We hit the target. This was in a large consolidation. Back here, big long watermelon seed squeeze. I put that up there as a target around 737. We came up here and hit it. What do we do now? I don't know. Retrace back to the roadmap line maybe. If we hold that, we can go higher. If we don't, we can go significantly lower. That's cost. Nothing high probability. But watch out for a retrace and cat. Dun, 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 dun. That pattern, not high probability anyway, so I didn't mess with cost. Load the rest of the chart. There we go. Yeah, went on an extension. Nice. Just clear all this up. That high, that low. Yeah. 400 area maybe. We did a nice nested pattern. Do one other way. Yeah. Would not surprise me to see a high consolidation in here. Because we did these nested things, we consolidate right around here, do another pop, consolidate there, do another pop, and then retrace. That could correspond with the crypto topping on 26. All right, CBS. Cow bang. Come on. That can't be the right CBS. I'm going to go with, no, that's CBSH. CBS. Come on, load again. And I'm going to guess you left something off of that one. I don't think we're looking for cow bang sugar. Yeah, waste of time. Anyway, yeah, CBSH. There you go. I see that down below. And oh my gosh, come on. Nothing. Nothing. It's been sideways for years. Nothing. All right. Already did well, I don't think I did AMD, but AMD, I've talked about it this morning, going down probably to this 80 to 120 level down in here is my target. Sometime or another, we're going down here. Could we make a new high? We could. There's the support. Get below it. Support. Below it. Retrace. Google went on the breakout. Alphabet. Yeah, 161 upside target. Not super high, but 161, 169 above that. Why did I have that active? Right there. Simple as that. That's a roadmap bounce. 161. 70% likely. Above that, 169, which is less likely. And there you go. That was the entry. There's the target. Simple as that. Simple as that. Disney. Right up to the resistance. We can get above that prior high. We can start tipping the odds. This actually did the bullish extension of that move right there. I expect a consolidation. But we don't have to. We could just push on higher. I expect another consolidation similar to this one. About like that. We did another extension higher. That's Disney, PFE. Pfizer. Still set to go lower. Very bearish. Support down here around 24. Resistance up here around 29. Nothing to talk about. Tight range, consolidation, down at the bottom. Potentially going lower. MPC. Go. Marathon Petroleum. Yeah, just hitting extensions. And zoom in further out. Yeah. And going to a weekly chart. What do we got? That big drop. That big pop. Next upside resistance, 250, looks like. Right up there. And CLSK probably needs a retrace. It's a big squeezy kind of pattern thing going right now. Not fond of this pattern. If it can break out, we could go higher. If it doesn't, it could go lower. It's coming up into that resistance zone. So it is limited on what it does next. Final resistance right there. On the daily chart, we definitely look like we need a retrace back down in here, if not even lower. So support on this one could be all the way back down here. So if we get below that daily roadmap line, watch out for that. And VST. Nothing I can tell you. It's just straight up. Nothing I can tell you. TMG. That high, that low. Resist, or target 28. There. That's what you got on TKO. And or TNP, excuse me. TKO. TNP. BWTX. Go chart go. Got a few things up. BWTX. That's the chart. Forget that noise. I'm not charting that. Penny stocks, forget it. Nothing. All right. I don't chart penny stocks. Stuff under 10 bucks is sketchy. And TGLS set to go higher. Yep. Target up here, 97. GLD, I already charted gold. GLD is just analog for gold. Go look at the gold chart. GC, 1 exclamation point. And already did TSM. Theta, crypto. Theta USD is what you're looking for. Pretty sure I already did that one. I think I did, but anyhow, here you go. Load. Gonna have to go up to the weekly. Resistance is right here. $5. Bearish below that. And FET. FET AI. Come on. Fetch. So if you believe that was the high, that's the low. We're right at the breakout and potentially could go up to 200. But that could take a while. And ADBE. Roadmap line, weekly. Watch out below. Support right there at that weekly roadmap line. We get below that. Watch out for support right here. We get below that. Tips the odds we're going on down. Right there. Dollar Tree. Just churning on the roadmap line. Oh, that's supposed to be USD. DLTR USD. I don't see that as a crypto, so I think you were trying for Dollar Tree. It's just stuck at the roadmap line. No high probability anything. If it's going to bounce, potential to go up here. But it didn't hit the 618, so that doesn't make that high probability at this point. And we have a large gap down resistance all the way up to that high. Right there. And LW. There's your resistance. Stuck in between. Break down. We can go lower low. And already did SPY. Not as SPY, but S&P 500. Already did that. Just divide by 10 for SPX. BitX could go back here or could go on extensions. That's just Bitcoin leveraged. Go watch Bitcoin. Not going to keep doing Bitcoin tickers. ZN has support. Well, there you go. I already had a drone, just didn't catch up. Support right down here. So far, downtrend of highs. There's the resistance declining, and we may break down lower. Of course, that could be 1, 2, and we get a third pop, and then go down further. There you go. There's the Tesla. Same thing. Nothing's changed on Tesla. 158. Support. Resistance. All this garbage. All these gap downs up here. So, Bitto. That's Bitcoin. Google. Already did. MCD. Looks like it may retrace further. Support down here at 273. Possibly down to 268. That's the box for support. Look for that to hold. And BP. Already did Mora. BP is not like the others. Looking less bullish. Not great there. And just consolidating. Not much to talk about there. That nasty chart pattern. It's gonna have to be above. It's gonna have to break out to go to 43. Mara did. BHP is. Let's see. That's a nasty chart. Looks pretty horrible. Nothing. Oh, we almost did the extension lower too. Oops. Couldn't do that. Man. What a nasty chart. Big consolidation with a slight higher bias, but probably going to come back down lower before we go higher again. Snow, my target's still the same as it was last week and the week before and the week before and the week before. Looking for a move down to this one lower low. Then we made back here, right down here in 100 area. We can tap down in that zone. We can make a bottom. Otherwise, nothing until we do that. Nothing. XP. Nothing. Potential to go lower, but consolidating under the prior high. Potential 29 in the upside, but if we break down below any of these lows, potential to come down here. 16. Nothing changed there either. And OXY. Prosperity Pub. Occidental finally getting off the mat a little bit. Maybe. Warren Buffett's multi-year investment. What is shopping now? Still the same resistance, and we're still there. We've turned down there every time we've been here for the last 2 years. See if we can get above there. Can we get the close above here and go higher? 83. Clear it up for you. That high, that low, highest high, lowest low. Got to clear that 618 in a definitive way. So far, did not do it. Not a daily close above. It's got to be clear, got to be above there. And then we have the resistance. Unfortunately, we have this resistance also that can reject. So this is a messy chart. It has been messy for quite a while, long time, years and years. We started this choppy junk back in June 22. I wouldn't expect it to do anything for a while. And already did Tesla. I don't know where you were. We did it just a few minutes ago. And just for giggles, Apple. Take a couple more of them, wrapping this baby up. It's about 85 degrees in here. These lights on and the air conditioner not. So in a big consolidation for Apple. Big sideways. I tap down in here. Could wrap this baby up and set us on a bullish path. Upside would be somewhere up here around 215 to 220. And probably going to tap out down here somewhere around 163, possibly 154. That's Apple for you. What's up, Apple Dumpling? What's crack-a-lackin'? And affirm. Dun, 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 dun. B. Riley has no pattern. Affirm is on the roadmap line. It's going to draw. It's going to draw. It's going to draw. Resistance up here, 43. Target up here, 57. 58. And that's it. And RLY. B. Riley Financial. Or is that the one you're looking for? You looking for B. Riley or you just looking for Riley? Riley is just garbage. Trying to remember the ticker. Oh, I can't type. Yeah, RLY complete. Search. And yeah. You're looking for Riley Tether. Riley Gold. This chart just looks nasty. Yeah, I think it's RILY. I don't remember. Ah, there it is. B. Riley. It might recover. Resistance at the roadmap line. Been selling calls against 100 shares of this since right over here. Insiders buy. And we'll see. There you go. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. I'll be back live 9:15 in the morning. Come hang out. If you want to, set your alarm, set your alert, hit the bell with the notifications. If I said anything that was beneficial, helpful, informative, anything, you appreciate anything I did today here, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and I'll be back in the morning looking at what's moving, what's popping, what's dropping. Otherwise, have a great day, everybody. It's been fun, hour and a half hanging out with you.